Hello, everyone. I'm Dijon,
I'm Amir.
and welcome to the Mustard Cast, the podcast about the art of storytelling and how it's used across different mediums. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see our channel grow, and to click the notification bell so that you're notified when we post. And I want to reiterate the like and comment part. You should already be subscribed, but seriously, like and
If
comment.
you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button or we'll be at your house.
Liking and commenting lets YouTube know that people watch this video, and it will suggest it to more people. So please do those things. I don't care what your comment is. It could be something ridiculous. Just comment something. Okay, so of course, we're going to start with what media we're consuming. Amir, you can start off.
Hold up, in my mind right now, as I'm drawing, I'm envisioning Captain Morgan on like Captain Morgan rum bottles, and that's not what I'm going for. Sorry. Right now, I am. See, what am I consuming? I started watching True Detective season 1. I told you this. I think you know this, Deshaun, or Dijon. I really like horror. You know I really like horror, but my favorite kind of horror is the only type of horror that gets me like actually scared. Is called Lovecraftian horror, which was made famous by H.P. Lovecraft. He kind of invented the genre, but it's like there's a monster, but the monster isn't the bad guy. The monster are the humans, the emotions. The scary parts are like they feed on human emotions, human imagination, stuff like that. And True Detective season 1 isn't a horror, like Lovecraftian horror, but it's a very Lovecraftian show. And they also make a bunch of references to one of my favorite Lovecraftian characters who H.P. Lovecraft actually didn't create, which is Hastur the Yellow King. And it's just, oh my God, I love True Detective season 1. It's really good. I forgot to tell you this. I think you'll be at least intrigued by this. I started playing Immortals Phoenix Rising. I actually quite enjoy it.
Yeah, I have some things to talk about that because I actually watched, I forget what it was, but I was watching, maybe it was I think it might have been a review because for whatever reason, I was like, I wonder how Phoenix is doing, and I looked up a review. And it was not even the combat, I was just looking at it, and I was like, this game looks pretty. I feel like this might be a game I might like actually enjoy. I would never beat it, much like the Assassin's Creed games, but I would at least play it for a decent amount of time.
Oh yeah, I am working on. I want to beat this game, and I'm gonna try to beat this game. But I'm also not making that a promise to myself. The amount of Assassin's Creed games that I've beaten, maybe 5 of them. I've played them all, and I've gotten very close to beating them all. But I've only beaten maybe 5 because Assassin's Creed games, especially the recent 3, like the new 3, the trilogy that has come out with Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. Those are like 60-hour games just on main story, plus like side quests out like there's so many side quests to do.
Yeah,
And so I've not beaten a single game out of the new trilogy. I know how they all end. I know the story for all of them. And I've gotten very close to beating all of them, but I have not beaten any of the new trilogy. And I want to. That's on my list, but it's just like that's way too much time and dedication to put into that.
That's me with literally any RPG, which those Assassin's Creed games are. So
yeah. What else? What other media have I been consuming? I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty Warzone, which you knew I was playing Warzone. I've been playing that a lot with my friends. Oh my God, I have one sniper rifle almost at gold, and I never get my snipers to gold, and so I'm really happy about that. I want to get all of them to platinum, or not platinum, whatever the purple thing is. I think it might be, it's not platinum. I don't remember what the purple thing is, but yeah. Also, watching WandaVision. And I'm listening to a new audiobook. It's not new. It came out in like 2006, but it's new to me. Lies of Locke Lamora, which is the first book in the Gentleman Bastard series, and I really like it. It's really good. I'll tell you about it like off stream or something, or unless it comes up. But yeah, it's really good. I like it.
Yeah. So, wait. I wanted to say something about something you were talking about. What were you talking about before you mentioned the book? You talked about WandaVision. What was before WandaVision?
Before WandaVision?
I forget. I'll probably remember.
I don't remember.
So what I've been consuming, first thing, it was a documentary on DC's YouTube channel called The Heart of Batman, the story of Batman, the animated series. And it is really good. It was fun to watch. I forget how long it was, probably like an hour and a half, maybe shorter. And they basically just went through the history of not just the creation of the series, but a bit of the history of just kind of the topics and themes that are discussed in Batman that were never discussed in animated series before Batman. Batman was considered like a super violent and dark show in comparison to all of the cartoons that came out in the early 90s and definitely in the 80s. And all the people that worked on Batman the Animated Series were kind of bored and didn't really enjoy working on all of those super goofy cartoons that came out. Like
Right.
Bruce Timm originally worked on Tiny Toons. He was one of the first people.
We know about Bruce Timm. We know about Bruce Timm.
The thing is, as much as we talk about him, like neither of us really, I don't hate him. He just has done something.
I don't hate him.
Yeah, he's
just strange.
But he's also responsible for the creation of this universe and the designs of almost all of the characters. And I just love Bruce Timm for everything he's done with that, other than the Batgirl stuff. Excluding that, Bruce Timm
almost every episode that he's had like actual creative control over, so. But I do like his character designs. I like his character designs. Those are cool.
He was a producer. He was literally, it was him and one other person. I'm mad, I'm forgetting his name, but they ran the show. They were the showrunners, so he had creative control over everything.
No, I mean like the episodes that he wrote and like directed and stuff like that. Those are the episodes that are like. Those are the weird ones.
Bruce Timm was a character designer and an animator. Bruce Timm was, I forget I'm mad that I remember, I'm forgetting all of these names except for Bruce Timm and Paul Dini, but one of the hit writers was basically saying that Bruce Timm and his, co-creator of the series were visual storytellers. They weren't writers. And this was like the first time they were ever producers, so they didn't really know what they were doing. So they built a great team of writers, other producers, and animators, storyboard artists, and things like that. But when it came to the visual side, Bruce Timm, and let me look it up because he deserves his name to be said, and I can't believe that I'm forgetting his name. Hold up, give me a minute. Creator Eric Radomski. That is
never heard of that man in my life.
Yeah, despite never hearing of him, he was the co-creator of the show. He was co-producer, and he is the reason that he did most of the backgrounds. Most of the background paintings, he did those. And I forget who told him to do it because I don't think it was his idea originally, but it might have been. But basically, you know how they always say the animated series is drawn on black paper. The backgrounds are drawn on black paper because, for the most part, they usually do, the episodes take place at night. And rather than having to add a bunch of darkness and black to a painting, it's easier to bring the light out of the dark. So he did most of the backgrounds. So yeah, they are a big part of the visual storytelling and side of Batman the Animated Series. And yeah, that's dope. And the writers, of course, wanted it to be darker than any cartoon that existed at the time, so they put a lot of hard work into making sure that was the case. I'm gonna have to edit this part out real heavy. There was a bunch of me searching names and you stepping away.
I'm so sorry, bro.
Second, the Dragon Prince. I finished all the seasons that are on Netflix currently. They're planning on going, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's gonna be 5 more seasons. Every season so far has been 9 episodes, so the next 5 seasons are probably gonna be 9 episodes. It's dope. That show is pretty good. Have you seen The Dragon Prince? Because if you haven't,
I saw season 1.
I say you should finish it. It's pretty cool. I like the world that they built, and I'm interested to see where it goes from where it left off. Like I said before, the creators. This happens every podcast. I forget names, but one of them was the head writer on Avatar: The Last Airbender. The other one was the director
Brian Kietz, whatever his name is.
No, that was one of the creators. I'm not even gonna try to think about it. Just he was head writer Avatar, and his co-creator was director of Uncharted 3. Next, Ninja Assassin. Have you ever seen that movie?
I think the second one, whichever one was on Netflix.
Yeah, Ninja Assassin's on Netflix. I rewatched it recently. It's a real cheesy action flick, but I love it, and it's real violent. And I could see another movie, either a sequel or a remake, or even just another separate movie similar to it, being made. And it also gave me, no, I had the idea for a video game because of something else, and due to that, I wanted to watch Ninja Assassin to kind of gather some inspiration for how I think this video game should work. And essentially, in my mind, I want there to be a ninja game. You play as ninja, of course, and it's kind of like a Dark Souls ninja game, so where it would be an extremely
So
difficult.
Ninja Gaiden.
No, because Ninja Gaiden has no stealth whatsoever. Um,
That's true.
this game would be primarily stealth, but once you get outside of stealth, the combat would be hard.
So Assassin's Creed Unity.
So, have I played Unity? I don't know if I played Unity.
Unity's combat is incredibly stupid. Not to like take away from that, but Unity's combat is incredibly stupid because I was replaying that recently. I stopped because I got so sick and tired of the combat. Arno's the delay between the time that you press a button while in combat and Arno actually doing the move. When you try to counter an enemy, doesn't work half the time. If there's more than like 3 enemies at you, you're gonna die. Like that's, yeah.
So essentially, I want it to be like, in terms of combat outside of stealth, to be as hard as Dark Souls, but
Okay.
also when you're in stealth, for it to still be difficult, but just a tad bit like easier because it's kind of forcing you to be like, you got to be a ninja, you got to be stealthy. This isn't going to be like all the ninja movies and games where the ninja is barely a ninja and he's mostly just fighting people just in front of everybody rather than actually sneaking around. And in Ninja Assassin, the ninjas in there almost seem like they just straight up turn into the shadows when they go into the shadow and hide. And I would want there to be something like that, not to where you're literally turned into the shadow, but it seems like you are. Kind of like in the original Thief games, when you were in the shadow, no one could see you. You were just completely invisible to everybody. That's kind of how I would want it to be. But yeah, not take too long on that. Because of that, I also finished Ninja Scroll, which is a anime movie that I watched like half of it but never finished it, and I went back,
Never even heard of it.
started from the beginning, and finished it. It's a good movie. Has some dope action scenes. Like I said, it's another one of those things where they're barely ninjas, but there's definitely some stuff. There's one ninja that does what I just said, and he literally turns into a shadow. But it's a good movie. It's on Hulu. What else? Was playing Metal Gear Rising, Revengeance, one of my favorite hack and slash games. Ninja Gaiden 2, again, one of my favorite hack and slash games. One of the inspiration for me thinking of this ninja game. I started playing Resident Evil 3 Remake because the day of the Resident Evil 8 showcase, they had like a discount on Resident Evil games. So I already had Resident Evil 2. I finished it like in the middle of last year. And I decided I didn't want to get 3 at full price because it wasn't a game that should have been $60. But yeah, I got it.
Really short.
Yeah, I got it at like what was it? It was like 67% off, and it was like $20. So I grabbed that. It's fun though. Me having never played the original, I don't have anything to compare it to. So to me, it's just a fun game that shouldn't have cost as much as it did, and that's my only problem because I never played the original. But I can understand why people are mad that they cut out, a good chunk of the game. Been playing Red Dead Redemption 2. Love that game so much. It does the thing that Breath of the Wild does, in the sense that there's always something interesting going on that you just randomly come up upon as you're riding your horse, and you end up interacting with it, and that's what makes that game so fun to explore. And also, it's just beautiful. I had to think in my mind which game looks more beautiful, despite how more diverse Ghost of Tsushima is. Like Red Dead Redemption, despite the fact that it's mostly just there's a swamp, there's a desert, and there's like grassland, it still looks almost just as beautiful as Ghost of Tsushima, and that's wild because Ghost of Tsushima is absolutely gorgeous. And I was saving the best for last, WandaVision, and something else that I'll get to after WandaVision. But I'm just gonna say I watched WandaVision because I think we should have a deeper discussion about the last 4 episodes of WandaVision, and then
Only 4 episodes of WandaVision.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a deeper discussion about those. So before that, I want to mention I finally saw Tenet, and it was good. It was a good movie. And it wasn't nearly as confusing as people made it out to be, but I feel like for people watching it in theaters, it was way more confusing because you could barely hear what anyone was saying. And there's no subtitles in theaters. So
I gotta
anybody could understand anything that was happening because they could barely hear anybody.
I want to agree a little bit and say that it was not that confusing. I don't even think it was that more confusing in theaters. I haven't seen it since it's been in home video, but it literally, I understood like 90% of it the first go around, and the only thing I missed, I'm not going to spoil the movie, but the character that reveals all, I missed that you know who I'm talking about, the character that reveals everything. I missed that it was him in the beginning of the movie. And that was the only thing that I didn't understand in the beginning of the movie. That was it. Other than that, I understood everything my first go around. And I'm like, I don't understand why everybody's saying it's so confusing. They don't understand it. It's not that hard to understand. Like
when I watched it, I was like, okay, it's when you understand what's happening, but then after you watch, you try to think a bit deeper about exactly how it's happening, like the physics behind it. You go, okay, now I'm a bit confused. Let me stop thinking about that. It's fiction and it doesn't matter. It's fake.
When you stop thinking about the physics of it, you just think about the story. The story's not that confusing.
Yeah, it's kind of, I wouldn't say straightforward because that's literally the opposite of what it is, but it's understandable.